Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Drop Podcast. We're back here, back where we were before. And I played a little bit beforehand, so I think I'm more prepared than I was last episode. Kind of know what I'm doing, kind of know where I'm going. Okay. So, first and foremost, I think I need to answer this question, because I got a question for the episode, and I always forget to answer it, so I just want to go ahead and get that out of the way. Also, it's a really good question. So, all right. So the question: what hustle are you hoping to get the most out of? As far as like income, am I hoping to get the most income from? Really good question. So if you guys don't know, I do music, I do this podcast, I do YouTube, I have a dropshipping store, and a few other various things that I'm doing. And I guess, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Music, did I say music? What I want to make the most from is actually my podcast. I think it'd be really awesome if I could make the most from this, actually. Reason being, I feel like I have the most fun doing this. I'm allowed to be like the most myself. And it's cool to, get played to play a video game, right? So I think also this is what I'm able to release the most consistently on, and also just release the most on, because it's just so much easier to do than finding guests with How About You and other things that I kind of have to take care of while doing How About You. But I mean, it's worth it. How About You is worth it for sure. And I actually feel like How About You I enjoy it so much because it challenges me the most, because it makes me go out, ask people questions, ask people to be on. I feel like it just helps me develop the most in myself. But how can it be successful? This, honestly, because like I said, I want the Drop Podcast to be the biggest thing. And I feel like it could be the most successful by honestly just consistent content. If I do consistent content, like consistent uploads, I know I'm trying to build my reach more, like produce other stuff. What I really need to do is just not upload, but like use social media more. I think I feel like if I use social media more often to support this project and to get it out there more, then I think that would help it grow a lot, and also just to build some type of culture around it, which I'm still kind of trying to figure out how exactly that would look and work, because I don't know. Whereas How About You is very much... Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm trying to work on not saying as much, because I noticed whenever watching this back again, I say a lot. But anyway, so let me finish this though. Finish this question. Now I'm gonna start saying Okay. Shoot, there it is. I'm not really sure because like I was saying, how about you is very much easy to. It's very easy because it's got a very, very strict kind of purpose, where this is more just me doing my thing, and you can follow along if you want. It's more of like a chilled out, hangout type of deal where there's another where how about you is way more like aggressive and aimed towards something in specific. Man, I can't remember what I did last time. It was this. Yeah, nonetheless though, I mean. Oh wait, I remember. I think it was right here. No, it was over here. But yeah, so I don't know, just finding out some way to build that kind of culture, that community, maybe do some merch somehow, figure out a way to just kind of like motivate people to be a part of my my culture, my brand. I'm writing a book. I just don't know if that's necessarily a part of what this is or the vision of this. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Once I, develop more and figure out more about sort of what where I want to go with this, and also just like how to market better, because I think that's another one of my issues. I'm not the best at marketing, but well, I don't know. I'm not the best at marketing. But I think like if I figure out something that I want to push out and understand with myself that, look, like part of marketing or part of doing this is trying to live free of income, and in order to live free of income, you absolutely have to ask for money sometimes, because I feel like that's my biggest sort of thing. Like, I don't really want to ask for money, just because it feels like I have such a good time doing this. It's just kind of weird, but you know what I mean. Eventually, like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Okay. So there you go. That is the question for today. And of course, if you guys have any more questions, I'll answer them if you bring them up, and if I see them. I'll glance over every once in a while, like I said. Okay. I did this before, but now I just can't remember exactly what I did before. Okay, but I've been talking a lot about decision making, and I kind of decided that like I better know a little something about decision making, because my big thing was like I was talking like probably like last time and in a little bit ago about how I believe in the ability of young children in like decision making, and also that like I don't think we really know what it means to what it means to have sorry, I'm just looking. I feel like we don't really know what it means for like someone to be not very well for someone to not be like I don't think we really know what it means for. Sorry, hold on. So let me just figure out what I'm trying to say first. I feel as though we do not have a very put together idea of one, how the brain works, or like processes information and makes decisions, or not necessarily that, but I guess if a better thing to say would be, I don't think we have a very well understanding of I think I would more so say why how do I say this? Why we don't quite get or understand why it takes so long for like the prefrontal cortex to develop, which is the part of the brain that makes decisions. And I feel like that's the key. Like, I know, so like I said, I did some research, and I found out some interesting things. So I found out that it's, well, one, that's our prefrontal cortex. Like I said, that where we have our decision making processes. Then I also found out that I wrote down some stuff because I thought it was really interesting. I found out that, well, what stuck out to me is, well, there's a whole bunch of pieces to our prefrontal cortex that sort of works on everything, but the piece that people are most commonly talking about that takes like 25 years, or takes you up to 25 years to develop, is the part of your brain that works on delaying gratification. So one, whatever the heck that even means. Like, what do you mean by delaying gratification? Because it's a very human thing. Like, what gratifies is very, very personal. But I guess now that I think about it, delaying gratification could be scientifically said as, I guess if you don't like succumb to the good feeling, I guess like if well, I don't know, because alright, so here's where I'm struggling with. Whenever they say delays gratification, you have to kind of envision that something is going to gratify you in the first place, like doing drugs, or, you know what I mean? And you're postponing that doing drugs to have a better outcome in life. So you're kind of looking into the future, I guess, in a way. I don't know. But anyways, that's the part of the brain that they say is not developed fully. Whoops. And just researching. I think it's interesting. But I still feel like that doesn't, like, I mean, I still have more to look into. Like, I don't know the study where they figured that out in, or still, I'm trying to think, how do I word? Because I have a weird thing about the way they word it, like gratification. I don't know. I guess it's just more along the lines of, what is gratification. But anyway, so they say that I think it's, here, I wrote it down, it's the prefrontal cortex. That is the part of your brain that's like, has to do with, I don't know. Okay, so I think here's where I kind of have an issue. Like, or a question, not an issue. Is it delaying gratification, or is it like being able to think long term? I think it's the same thing, really. Like, be able to see long term and think about things in the long term. And that's, I don't know, that's a very, very difficult thing to measure, I think. It's just, like, I'm not against the idea, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not married to the fact that, or not to the fact, I'm not married to my idea that we are able to do whatever we want, or that we are, like, if we I guess discipline ourselves or work at things, that we would be able to at a young age be able to make mature, responsible decisions. Because as I was saying last time, I think it's very, very necessary that we start to try and figure some of this stuff out for our younger children, or start to like expect more. And a lot of people would say like, oh, well, you can't do that because it's a young child. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to like figure that out. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not married to it. That's not. I understand that it's an idea and it's not 100% certain, and I remain to stay open to whatever we discover in the future. But I'm just trying to point out like some of the things that I've read that I think are interesting, but at the same time, I don't think these things that I'm reading about make these ideas facts. Is all I'm saying. I don't think it should be looked at as factual information, like 100% factual information, but rather, well, not necessarily like not factual information, but just it's information that we don't know all the answers to yet. I think is a much better way to word that. But anyway, so we're just looking at my notes for a second. So there's this there's the idea that whenever your brain develops, like 25 isn't necessarily like, oh, at 25 there's an immediate switch in your mind. It's more that it's more along the lines of as you age, I guess, I don't know, like basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's not 100% certain that you will be like, I don't know, better mentally about this stuff, but rather that you will it's more of an average. So like some people, it might take like 25 X amount of years, and then other people it'll take I don't know, like you'll be 60 years old and you'll still have problems delaying that gratification. So it's just that's also a note of interest, that I feel like there's more to brain development than as you grow and age, then your brain develops. I feel like it's more like you start to understand the world in some sort of certain way, and then your brain develops. I feel like that makes a little bit more sense. And I think that's my problem, because I feel like delaying gratification isn't something that you develop, but rather something that you learn. Hold on, I'm trying to think if that makes sense. Well, I don't think it's something that naturally develops, I should say. I think it's more something that as you grow and experience the world, you learn from the world and your experiences about different things that sort of help you decipher that delaying gratification will benefit you. I think that's more of the process. Like, and here's why I say it, because I was listening to this guy, and he was talking about, he was like, oh, well, teenagers are sort of riskier or more like jump at it because they literally don't have the synapses formed in the brain to understand or to, I'm trying to think what his words were, to understand the process of delaying that gratification. I think that's a very, very tricky thing to say. Like it's not that like I'm saying he's wrong. I'm just saying, like, I feel like there's a lot of holes in that statement that don't really satisfy the conditions. So he says, when they don't have the synapses, well, how do you develop the synapses? You know what I mean? I feel like that's the first thing that we should be asking. Do synapses just simply develop because of genetics and the brain just growing by, I don't know, some form of genetic markers and epigenetics, which is a new study of how you process or how the outside world can affect you and help you sort of develop, or that will, well, like how the outside world will trigger things in your genetics to make you do some sort of action. So I don't know, but as I was saying, it's tricky because, you know, you say that, but I feel like you do have to ask that question of, you know, how do synapses develop? And once we answer that, then we can sort of figure out, you know, so is this more of a worldly experience, or more of like the epigenetics type of thing, where it's like triggers in the world sort of promote that, I don't know, genetic growth somehow, or something like that. Because I wrote a paper on depression, and I personally believe that epigenetics is a huge factor in depression. I also noticed that we have influences by the people that are around us that could also have an effect on our I think, like, what makes us think, and maybe that has some connection to epigenetics. I don't know. I think epigenetics is going to be like something that's really interesting, that really opens our minds and helps us think outside the box in terms of all these other types of thought process, or sort of like connect some dots that I see that are missing in the cases of mental illnesses and etc. So yeah, and especially in this case, I think it also has something to do. So right now I'm actually getting into some stuff that I have not done. I guess I didn't. I thought it would take me longer to do this, but yeah, actually, okay. But anyway, so as I was talking about, let's see, cave in the east, he said. There's a cave in the east that will help me. A friend of mine in a cave just east of here in Trilby Highlands has a item. You're gonna need it if you're gonna climb to the top. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So that's what I was just thinking about. Like, I feel, because, like I said, like, there's no, like, I don't know. I've talked to adults about this, and I know, I mean, my mother, who I do think is a little bit biased. Like, I feel as though like she feels that she needs to I don't know, go against me sometimes. That's just how I feel. I don't know if that's true, how she thinks, but because like sometimes it just feels like she'll argue me for like no reason, and then I'll end up saying the same thing as like a pastor says on TV, and it's okay because it's in the perspective of God, but not self-improvement. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't think I'd let it go, and I just take what I can do. But yeah. Another interesting kind of thought that I was hearing about was there something called just saw a cave. There's something or some idea about willpower in conversation of that topic on like the development of your brain. So I'm trying to remember what he said because it was really, really clever. Is willpower? Let me check my notes. So willpower. Oh, okay. So this guy was talking about how the prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that helps you think about things long term, like I said, delaying that gratification. But then you have another part of your brain that I think is more like about your reflexes or something. I actually don't think it was quite that. There was something more to it, but I can't remember. I don't know, but he was saying that so like the balance of being able to think about long-term gratification. Oh, and taking risks, like being more risky. The balance between that is the willpower. The being able to look between the two choices and like make the decision. Now the way the guy said it, it sounded very, very intelligent, a whole lot better than I'm making it sound right now. But I think that's something interesting, like on willpower. Like what is willpower? I think the definition of willpower is something to do with like I think it actually is just like delaying gratification, which I don't think is a I don't know what my thoughts are on that. But the guy was saying that oftentimes we, like younger people tend to create or take more risks or have bigger. I don't know. I can't remember. Just like that riskier sort of mentality helps you do a lot of more crazy things, or not crazy things, but like take more risks in which in turn helps you create better. And like a lot of big scientific discoveries came from those same people taking those risks. So it's not a bad thing. I don't know. Still, something about this is just a little weird to me. I'm still not sure how they figured this stuff out. I know like studying rats is a big thing that we do, because I guess like rats have a very similar mind that we do too, or like brain, I mean, that we do too. But I don't know. Something interesting. I'm gonna keep learning about it, because like I said, like I really want to figure out. I really need to figure out this. I really need to figure out this stuff. Hey, this is cool. I really need to figure out this stuff because I want to create my program. And if, like, my theory is that if we can, if it's true that it's more about what we experience that can maybe like trigger epigenetics or trigger something, but the point being, like, if it's true that it's more of an experience that promotes that growth, then we can truly I'm afraid to do that. I think there's got to be some place where I shrink. But if it's true that we... Oh, that's clever. Okay, but anyway. So if it's... Shoot, I lost my train of thought. All these puzzles, man. This is why I love Zelda, though, because it's... I don't know. It's really, really cool. You just got lots of creative things. But as a brother was saying, if it's true that it's more about the experiences, then the synapses grow and we get smarter. Then if we figure out how to trigger those experiences, like get kids to explore creative ideas, then we could most definitely get that the prefrontal cortex evolving a lot earlier, which could help fix the big issue that I see with what's going on with this generation, who's gonna be struggling a lot with lacking that social experience that they typically would have in a school setting. Because I feel like being with people provides you, and I was talking about this last episode, but I think I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm also working on my book, like starting to focus a little bit more in on it and starting to really bring the ideas together. But as I was saying, I think that that being with people provides you with that, like I said, that resource that I call shit, well, now I don't know the best term for it. The resource that I would call like courage, like being courageous enough to push yourself past your comfortability, like what you past what you're comfortable with doing, in terms of like just socializing, and I don't know, and trying to think how that would, I guess that has something to do with willpower, because you're afraid to do a lot of things, which I guess kind of goes against the grain of the topic. I think, see, this is the other thing I guess, like my other sort of struggle that I think I'm having with this whole concept of like your brain developing and having to wait on your brain. it seems as though as we get older, we get more confident in ourselves and our abilities to, and that kind of allows us to take on, or to understand that things aren't as risky. So I don't know, maybe there's a difference between risk and maybe there's a difference between or understanding risk. So like maybe not being as emotional. Maybe that's something that you develop. Like whenever you get smarter, or I don't know, smarter. Whenever you gain more experiences, you realize that life isn't as scary, and so you're willing to take on more risks, because, or you're willing to take on things because you realize that they're not risks. But then you maybe you choose like a less risk oriented but more of an understanding perspective. Like you want to understand things rather than just jump at them. Because I could see that being, something like I definitely see myself as, I just kind of leap at something without necessarily fully having it all down under control, I guess, like mentally. Like, because my perspective is I'll take I'll make the mistakes now, and because it won't be as harmful to me, since I'm so young and I have so much more time to fix it, then, if I don't take them now, I'm kind of wasting life experience, because eventually I'm gonna have to figure it out, right? Okay, what the heck? So yeah, it's kind of my perspective. But I don't know. Like I said, everything I say is speculation. Dude, I was listening because I wanted to hear the audio. It sucks. I wanted the music to be loud enough, but I don't think it was for this last episode. I feel like I already went there. I wanted the music because the music in this game is so good. But it didn't. But I think this episode should be better. I'll listen to it again, and also like I really enjoy, like I feel like I'm very entertaining. Like I don't know if this is cockiness, but like I don't know, like I like I like listening to myself. I used to hate hearing my voice, but I feel like ever since I started doing this, ever since I started doing this podcast, I've actually really, really, really started to get comfortable with the way I sound, and really appreciate like my voice. Like I've definitely become a better speaker. I've definitely become more confident. Well, maybe not more confident, but I've been allowing myself more room and just like developing my ideas and stuff like that. Like it's been helpful. It's been very, very helpful for me. And okay, seriously, what the heck? Okay. Huh. This is strange. Figure it out. It's a puzzle, and we will solve it. But yeah, as I was saying though, like I've started to discover that I'm kind of, I don't know if it's been like boosting my ego, which is actually a good thing. I think it's been a beneficial thing for me, because I feel like it's challenged me to reach out more. And there's always those uncomfortable moments. Like there's always moments where you don't feel the most positive. I definitely have those, but I'm more willing to enter those situations, right? And I think that's been something that, like I said, and this is where I'm coming from, sort of with like this whole brain development thing too. Like, I'm more willing to take on these challenges, and it's helped me in a lot of ways. It's helped me to grow a lot and get more comfortable with myself and think more long term. And it's not just like, oh, so you think long term now. No. I mean, it is more specific. Like, there is more to it. It's just, I don't know. It's just something. But hold on, let me check this out right here. I think I'm gonna go ahead, cut it off right there. This was a good episode. I was really enjoying this. Really enjoying this one. I feel like this is one of the good ones. I've just, alright. Sorry, I know I said I was about to end it, but last thing. I tried this thing today because I got home from work and I was like really tired as usual. But I discovered, like, I just sat down for 10 minutes. I mean, with my feet up in the air. I don't know if that had anything to do. But I just rested, sort of closed my eyes for 10 minutes. And I think that helped me sort of regain that energy and regain that focus. And I think I can definitely tell a difference. Like, I feel better doing this. I think the content of this episode is better. I don't feel like I'm pushing anything. Like, everything just feels natural. And, so yeah, so I guess if you want that technique, basically what I did is I got home, I was tired, and so I just took 10 minutes to sort of sit back and regain some of that focus and just, you know, relax a little bit. And I think that helped me a lot. So I'm gonna end it off right here, right by this, little tricky thing. So if you guys enjoy this content, then you can find more. You can find me on anchor.fm/TheDropPodcast, all one word. Or if you want to make it easier, you can go to my website at joshuatbryan.com, where you can see my other content. I make music, rap music. I make beats. You can see beats. I have a little blog that I do every morning. You can also support the channel and my podcast by I have a Patreon page where you actually get a little bit of extra good stuff. If you look at some of the tiers, then you can decide. You can get like a pack of 10 beats if you want them, which I also have some sample beats on my website if you want to check those out. But yes, also if you want to see whenever I upload or just see like what's up with me, because I actually post, I'm trying to post a lot more, and I have posted a lot more. So but if you want to check some of my more stuff out, or just like see whenever I have news available, you can follow me on Instagram at joshuatbryan64. So that all being said, one more time, my website, joshuatbryan.com. You can see some good stuff. And so yeah, with that all being said, I will check you guys later for the next episode, which will be this Thursday. Alright, see you.